Now, some of you have been following along, and you know that I have not produced my normal midweek thought, inspirational type of thought, for the last couple of weeks. And for that, I make no apologies whatsoever. We had a new little grandson born into our family, and his mother and his father brought him over here to Raceville in Illinois to meet us. He comes from Arizona, and we had family from Michigan and family from Arizona and siblings and cousins and stuff that spent time with us. And if I was going to make a devotion, I would say family is important. But because family is important, I didn't make the devotion. Today I offer a fairly simple answer, at least one possible simple answer, to a pretty important question that anybody can do. Now, we know that probably if we spend a lot of time with wise people, some of it might rub off on us. I don't know if it works exactly that way, but the more wise counsel we receive in our lives, the more likely we are to make wiser choices. And the more foolish counsel we receive in lives, and the more we jump out on it, the more likely we're to make some big blunders. But here's the question. How do you know if the person who's giving you counsel is a wise person or a foolish person? And sometimes our own personal biases reflect in that choice. For instance, it could be that a parent thinks that a child's friends are a bad influence and not good counsel. You can follow a bias and you can go with your parents, you can go with your friends or whatever, but how would you have it? Wouldn't you like a test that you could just apply this test without anybody knowing you're applying the test and get a pretty good reading on whether you're in the company of a wise person or a foolish person? Well, we're going to deal with that in just a moment. But for the next 30 seconds or a minute, we're going to show a little nature clip that came from my daughter, Christina. And thank you, Christina, for this clip. Back to my theme for the day. We're going to call this a litmus test for wisdom. Pretty easy. Here's all you do. The people you spend time with, and this is kind of a sorting test. The people you spend time with, you keep your mouth shut when you're around them. You just listen, follow along, with what all you're doing, have fun with your friends and all that, but don't get into any big arguments or any challenges. Then you watch, and from time to time, there will be a legitimate challenge to an opinion that they perhaps hold dear or hold strongly. And you watch what happens when they are challenged with that opinion. Okay, do they ruffle and stand their ground? Do they instantly get into a win-win situation? Somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose? Do they step back and listen and then try to figure out reasons that person's wrong? Do they try to get in the head of the other view and say, maybe you got a point there. I'll think about it a little while. But I won't really change my view, just for this one little discussion we're having, but I'll consider it. I'll think about it. That's all there is to it. You've done all the hard work. Now just comes the sorting. Those people that you run with, that you spend time with, who are able to see from a different perspective, who are able not just to accept everything easily that's given to them, not naive, but they're able to see from a different perspective. They're able to take that perspective, match it with their own, and think through if they were right or if they were wrong. And not only will they do that, but they will be happier and pleased if they learn something new in the process and if they're not right about everything. That person is on the path to wisdom. Now, notice I didn't say the friends that are a litmus test for IQ. You can have some really, intelligent people that are not wise. And you can have some people that aren't so knowledgeable about the world that show quite a bit of wisdom. Now, those that are defensive, those that have their mind made up, those that have a big wall in front of them, they have to be right, or else they're on a path that is not a path to wisdom. Can we graciously say unwise path? A path of foolishness. Because that also reinforces itself. And the thing is, nobody knows everything about everything. And people that are able to keep learning as they age are usually people that become wiser, more experienced. They match reason with information, with experience, put it together, and they're constantly putting, we call this heuristic thought. I'm in, once again, in the book of Proverbs, and in chapter 15. Some time ago, I was in chapter 14. This time I'm coming to 15, the last few verses of chapter 15, and it goes something like this. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. And we're not just automatically wise. It's a path. It's a living, a lifestyle. Those who disregard discipline despise themselves, but the one who heeds correction gains understanding. Day by day, we're becoming wiser and wiser, or we're becoming more and more unwise, more and more foolish. And that doesn't only include our counselors, our friends, our group of people we spend time with. It also describes our own path, your path and my path. The more time we spend with wise counselors, the wiser we get, but the more time we spend open and challenging and learning and expanding who we are and growing in our knowledge of everything, the wiser we become. Well, that brings us to the middle of another week. May God bless you this week, and may God give you a heart and a mind and a thirst for wisdom, especially, most importantly, the next verse of that says, and the true wisdom comes from God. A thirst for Him, a thirst to grow and be what He asks you to be, is looking for you to be. As I said, may God bless you.